a survey of leading figures in British cultural life, among them theatre director Sir Nicholas Hyter, ITV chairman Sir Peter Bazalgette, and acclaimed artists such as Itai Sorhay, Lenny Henry, Beverley Knight and Joe Brand, reveals that most now fear the biggest threat to Britain's creative reputation is the loss of freedom of movement in Europe after a potential hard Brexit. For the overwhelming majority of the 50 cultural leaders, the ability of artists to continue to work abroad freely is a higher priority even than maintaining seriously jeopardized levels of funding. Brexit has been a total disaster from its inception to its current execution, said Sorhay, who this year won an Ivor Novello Lifetime Achievement Award for his music. The impact on the arts will be devastating. It will have a hugely negative impact on the perception of the UK as a multicultural hub of creativity and free expression. The results of the research, conducted by the think tank Global Future and released to The Observer, show a clear level of agreement across dance, theatre, music and the visual arts about the dangers of ending artists' ability to work freely throughout Europe. Those creative leaders who took part, including the revered dancers and ballet company directors Tamara Roja and Akram Khan, along with Alistair Spalding, artistic director of Sadler's Wells, and Alex Beard, head of the Royal Opera House, spoke with almost one voice, with 46 out of 50 saying a hard Brexit that ended free movement would have a negative or even devastating impact. For Paul Rosber, director of the National Youth Theatre, where many stars, including Daniel Craig, Matt Lucas, Kate Winslet, Helen Mirren and Idris Elba, began their careers, the health of the creative sector, which the government acknowledges brings in £87 billion a year to the economy, is ignored at Britain's peril. It is simply a question of trade really. Although Brexiters are very keen on free trade, they don't acknowledge this will close down a freedom of trade in a very important area, despite the fact it is a growth market, growing more than any other sector apart from banking. For Rosber, like other respondents, preserving freedom of movement comes above efforts to secure investment, because it will immediately damage Britain's artistic reputation. If it doesn't kill our creative sector, it will certainly seriously diminish it. The large majority of those surveyed also said diversity was one of the chief reasons behind Britain's creative success, while 46 respondents felt there was now a big risk to the country's soft power and creative reputation, and 41 believed that morale had fallen since the EU referendum. Rosber also pointed to the recent decision of the European Youth Orchestra to relocate to mainland Europe, cutting off many young musicians in the UK from playing and learning with international artists. The impact is going to be on diversity of talent, he said. We rely on that cultural diversity, and when that goes we will be isolated. It is about perceptions across Europe, and sadly the perception is already changing out there.